speaking of people not going back to work, I should say, would be a question from one of our listeners on an episode before about the government strike, because they're not going back to work anytime soon. And the question was, do you guys have any idea how the over 100,000 federal government workers in Ottawa alone on strike will affect the real estate market? Will put more sellers on the sidelines or buyers? Rumor has it will drag out for a long time. There's a lot of different industries that this strike hits, coming from immigration to passport control to CRA, import exports. So there's a huge, and I think it's actually about 150,000 employees. The big thing that it'll impact from a home buying perspective is that CRA is on strike. Self-employed individuals need their taxes done in order to get a mortgage. If somebody is a hourly fluctuating employee, you might have your T4s. That's what you're gonna have to get away with. If you're dealing with a bank that needs an NOA, the likelihood of you getting that anytime soon is unlikely. So especially for self-employed individuals who are filing, typically you need your T1 generals plus your notice of assessment plus proof of your taxes paid. That notice of assessment is not coming anytime soon, and taxes are due shortly. And so depending on how long this drags out and how much backlog there is, it could delay those that are reliant on those notice of assessments or CRA returns in order to purchase homes. So it will put, I think, both on the sidelines a little bit, depending on what industry they're in, from buyers not being able to finalize their mortgage, to sellers that were planning on buying, but are in that same boat that they don't want to list their property yet because they don't have their documents or they haven't thought of this. And so for those realtors that are listening or those other mortgage brokers listening, please ensure to find out what industry and what type of income your clients have in order to ensure that when we tick over into May, and banks typically based on their boxes and their parameters of what that client's going to need, if they're going to need anything from a 2022 CRA document, that they're going to be out of luck and it's going to be delayed. So be cognizant of that when you're setting closing dates, be cognizant of that when you're going out shopping, all of that. And then even further to that, it was for even just businesses that hire, like it's affecting immigration. So any of those that hire maybe foreign workers for seasonal, like that's going to be affected as well. So it could, depending how long it drags out to this point of this question, it could very well affect a number of industries.
Yeah, I would just say too, in discussing with your lenders, as if you're a broker listening, also ask them, like say, client, or ask your clients what they have, like, oh, they have their 2020 and 2021 in a ways, but don't have their 2022 yet. Or as you said, Dave, just kind of get ahead of that or stay ahead of that so that both from the client's perspective and the lender's perspective, what's available and what you can actually provide to them. Because typically we have services too where we'll just authorize the lender to get NOAs directly from CRA, or clients fill out a form giving us authorization to pull different things on their behalf, but that obviously won't be possible. So very important to stay ahead of that, Dave. It's a very good point.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically taxes due next Monday, the 1st. So really anyone looking at that, self-employed, looking at, once that tax submission deadline comes and goes, that's when the banks start looking for that previous year's, most recent year's notice of assessment. So 2022's. Right now, because they're not due, technically the banks don't look, they'll rely on your 2020 and 2021. But as we approach and get past that due date that has not been extended, that's where it could throw some things for a loop. And so some people set a closing date of, end of May, assuming they'll have their NOAs or, this or that back. So just for everyone to be aware, because it is going to impact that and backlog things.
Yeah, I wonder how long it's going to go on for. It's convenient, the timing, obviously, helping out Canadians. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. So we'll see. I'm sure it probably won't go on as long as people think it will, but you never know.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe because we'd really like that.